friends than anybody in this town. Nobody's poor so long as he has good friends." "Oh, 'tain't being poor I mind," laughed Willie, now quite himself again. "It's knowing nothing and being nothing that discourages me. If I'd only had the chance to learn something when I was a youngster, I wouldn't have to be going it blind now like I do. There's times, Celestina," added the man solemnly, "when I really believe I've got stuff inside me that's worth while, if only I knew what to do with it." "Pshaw! Ain't you using what's inside you all the time to help the folks of this town out of their troubles? I'd like to know how they'd get along if it weren't for you. Ain't you doctoring and fixing up things for the whole of Cape Cod from one end to the other, day in and day out? I call that amounting to something in the world, if you don't." Willie paused thoughtfully. "I do quite a batch of tinkering, that's true," admitted he, brightening. "And I'm right down glad to do it, too. Don't think I ain't. Still, I can't help knowing there's better ways to go at it than blundering along as I have to, and sometimes I can't help wishing I knew what the right way is. There must be folks that know how to do in half the time what I do by makeshift and fussin'. Sometimes it seems a pity there never was anybody to steer me into finding out the kind of things I've always wanted to know." Celestina began to rock nervously. Being of New England fiber, and classing as morbid all forms of introspection, she always so dreaded to have the conversation drift into a reflective channel that whenever she found Willie indulging in reveries, she was wont to rout him out of them, tartly reproaching herself for having even indirectly been the cause of stirring him up. "Next time I'll set the chowder back on the stove and say nothin'," she would vow inwardly. "I'd much better have waited till his dream was over and done with. Suppose I am put out a bit, 'twon't hurt me. If I don't care enough for Willie to do something for him once in a while, good as he's always been to me, I'd oughter be ashamed of myself." Hence it is easily seen that neither to Wilton in general, nor to Celestina in particular, was Willie Spence a trial. No, it was to himself that Willie was the torment. "I plague myself most to death, Teeny," he would not infrequently confess when the two sat together at dusk in the little room that looked out on the reach of blue sea. "It's getting all these idees that drives me distracted. 'Tain't that I go hunting 'em, they come to me, hitting me broadside like as if they'd been shot out of a gun. There's times," ambled on the quiet voice, "when they'd wake me out of a sound sleep and give me no peace till I've got up and tended to 'em. That notion of hitching a string to the slide in the stove door so'st you could open the draft without stirring out of your chair, that took me in the night. There warn't no waiting till mornin'. Long ago I learned that. Once the idea has a holt of me, there's nothin' to do but haul myself out of bed, even if it's midnight and colder'n a devil, and try out that notion." "The plan was a good one. It saved lots of steps," put in Celestina. "It had to be done, Teeny," Willie answered simply. "That's all there was to it. Good or bad, I had to carry it to a finish if I didn't sleep another wink that night." The assertion was true. Celestina could vouch for that. After 10 years of residence in the gray cottage, she had become too completely inured to hearing the muffled sound of saw and hammer during the wee small hours of the night to question the verity of the statement. Therefore, she was quite ready to agree that there was no peace for Willie, or herself either, until the particular burst of genius that assailed him had been transformed from a mirage of the imagination to the more tangible form of tacks and strings. For strings played a very vital part in Willie Spence's inspirational world. Indeed,